I want to start by hearing, I don't know if the coaching team asked anybody before. If they didn't, that's okay. I want to see if we have any brave souls that are willing to share some big wins from 2021. We just wrapped up 2021. I know in my meetings with my clients, I'm hearing a lot of wins of huge increases in revenue growth, huge increases in profits. Is there anyone that's willing to share any wins specifically related to 2021 growth? Oh, Dad, there you are. Oh my goodness. He wouldn't miss it. I just got done telling them I didn't know you were. Oh, there he goes. Anyway, can anyone share? Do we have any brave souls to share a 2021 win? Can we get maybe at least 2 people to share that, 2 clients?
I'll share, Manny.
Okay, we got Manny. I saw Mike raise his hand. So Manny, we'll have you go first, and we'll have Mike. Bob, can we have you share your refinishing win, dude?
Absolutely, yeah,
Rudy,
for sure.
We'll have you go last.
Which one would you like?
I'll tee it up for you, but Rudy, Jonathan, sorry, we call Jonathan Rudy. Rudy shared this win with me, and literally my mouth dropped. I was like, they own a tub refinishing company, and they did that volume. And so anyway, Manny, we'll start with you though. Kick us off. Win.
So I started with Redmond Growth maybe the tail end of the third quarter or fourth quarter of last year. So
Manny, I can only see your eyes. Is there any way I can see your face? There you are. Oh, that beard. See, that's what I'm going for, and it might take me 3 years to get there. Okay, you go ahead.
I'm on my phone, so sorry.
That's okay. You're all good.
So we started till the fourth quarter last year, tail end of it, with the marketing campaign really kicking forth. The month of December, I'll just keep a long story short. The month of December, we were able to generate upwards of 150 grand.
Oh, wow. That is incredible. Do you remember what you were able to do, just to give it like a baseline comparison? Do you remember roundabouts what you did December 2020 compared to December 2021?
Oh man, it was like 10 times the growth.
Oh my gosh. That's what we live for. That's awesome, Manny. Mike, let's share if you share your win. And if you could tell us the name of your business, where you're located, and then the win, that would be great.
Well, this is going to pale in comparison now. I'm trying to follow that. Well, the name of my business is Rapid Ventures LLC, but I've got 2 DBAs. So in most of the year, I do junk removal. It's called Rapid Junk Removal. And then in the winter time, I do a Christmas light installation. That's called Holiday Lighting Express. 2021 was my first year doing it. I just joined with you guys like 2 weeks ago. But I started it in May of 2021. So for the first year, I did about 137,000 gross between the 2. So, I mean, to me, that was a big win, but not after hearing that somebody just did 150K in 1 month.
Come on, dude. The first thing is you can't get caught up in the comparison game. We're all coming here.
I know.
Different
He's just like where I want to be.
Mike, here's how you feel good about that win, because that is a win we're celebrating. Look up how long it takes most businesses to generate a profit, to actually get to a profitable position. It sounded like you were able to hit that point in your first, not even year. You haven't even been in business for a full year yet. And you're able to do that. Dude, that's worth celebrating. Seriously, way to go. And Bob, can you talk about the win on the tub refinishing revenue for 2021?
Yeah, I'd love to. And I've got to give credit to Jonathan because of the incredible amount of great ideas and help that he's given us. He's laughing, but I am serious. I mean, we did a quick little video for him. We were stuck at about 900,000 in sales for like 3 years in a row. And we were actually going to drop. We were only that high because we picked up this huge contract that we're finishing up. And that contract is done, but still last year we did just over 1 million in just refinishing sales. And then as a total company did 1.6 million, which is by far our best ever. We're just thrilled.
I didn't even know it was possible for a company to do over 1 million in tub refinishing sales, let alone a business based throughout different parts of Arkansas.
Well, Jonathan says we're easily going to do 2 million next year. So,
Oh my
we were
gosh.
looking for 1.2, but Jonathan says no, 2 million. So that's next year now.
Happening.
Guaranteed all your money back, and it's going to come out of Rudy's paycheck if we don't.
I see we have Sarah Naylor here on the call, and I hate to put you on the spot, girl, but I would love for you to share your big win of 2021, if you are willing to share.
Well, yeah, nice to see your face, by the way. I've never seen you before. So I have been with Nicole for, I think November is a year. So I've been with Nicole for a year. I was in a group up until then as a real estate agent in Rockwall, Texas, and I left the group in February. And this would be my first year to actually be able to be nominated as the independent agent, real estate agent of Rockwall County. And I was nominated and I won. So I am the 2021 Rockwall real estate agent.
Let's go!
And I couldn't have done it without her because she's given me the confidence. So that's been huge for me.
Hardest working woman I know. She kicks ass. It's pretty awesome.
That's so cool. And here's a great thing about it, guys. I've got a secret. Okay, raise your hand if you're a contractor. Okay, most of the people in this room. Here's the big secret: is this. Sarah Naylor, she is not a contractor. She's a real estate agent. But guess what? We're running the exact same systems that we run with every single business. And it has very little to do with the niche. There is some niche differences. There's very little to do with the niche. Has everything to do with the execution. And Sarah, I've never seen you face to face either, but I feel like I know you just because of how much Nicole talks about you and talks about how well you execute. And so that's the difference maker. Is Redmond Growth will work for any business. It's all about the execution, and that's actually what I want to talk about here real briefly. It's the beginning of the year, 2022, and you know, at the beginning of any year, we're coming up with our New Year's resolutions. We're coming up with our goals for the year. We're coming up with all these different things, but like, it's no secret that we have all this momentum at the beginning of the year, you know, and we see it like most popularly in like the gyms, you know, people wanting to get in shape, and they have all this momentum, and the gyms are packed in January, and then they're still full in February kind of, and they definitely kind of flatten out by March. By April, it's like all the people that had all those New Year's resolutions, where are they to be found, right? They're gone. And so there's this quote I want to talk about, and what I want to do is give you this quote. It's a core quote to Redmond Growth philosophy. It's really a core, I like to call it culture quote that we actually mention typically in the first meeting with our clients. But I want to kind of go deeper into this quote. And I'm going to share my screen real briefly here. There we go. Okay, so there's this man here. Has anyone heard of a guy named Thomas Edison? Right? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so Thomas Edison has this quote that I love. And he says, vision without execution is hallucination. Vision without execution is hallucination. When you guys hear this quote, I want to maybe get a couple people. When you hear that, what do you hear? Vision without execution is hallucination. You can just unmute your mic and speak up. Okay,
You have to work. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you have to work.
Okay, you have to work is what do you mean by that? You have to work.
That you have to actually get out, do something, and not just hope it comes to true, but make it come to true.
That's right. That's right. You have to get out there and do the work. I really like that. Anyone else, when they hear this quote, what do they think that means? Vision without execution is hallucination.
I think it kind of indicates that you also need a pathway, not just that you got to work, but you have to work with a purpose and following a set plan.
That's right. You've got to have a plan. So here's the reality, guys. is, like I said, it's the beginning of the year. We're all setting our goals. Our vision jars are overflowing. It's like, I don't know if you guys feel that at the beginning of the year, but I know I can kind of feel at the beginning of the year. There's kind of this excitement, right? We're excited. This is going to be our best year ever. All the mistakes we made last year, oh, we learned from those. We're not going to make those again. We have hope. We have excitement. But what ends up happening to all of humanity? The vision doesn't come to fruition. The vision remains a hallucination. Our dreams, our hopes, our desires, our goals, they all just become like a mirage in the desert that seems like something that we're reaching, but as we get closer, it begins to fade away. So here's what I want to talk about. This concept is simple, right? We all know that we've got to actually set goals. We all know where we want to get to. We all know the differences that we want to make in our businesses. But why do we continue to struggle? Why do we, what gets in the way? What stops that momentum that we all have right now that is beginning of the year? So here's what I want to do. I want to real quickly talk about the 4 most common stumbling blocks for execution. The fact of the matter is, your dream, your goal for your business, your vision will not happen unless we execute. Simple concept, right? So what gets in the way of that? I want to talk about the 4 most common things that gets in the way of that. But I just don't want to tell you what gets in the way. I want to also give you the 4 antidotes, the 4 ways to fix the things that get in the way. The first thing that I've noticed here, if you're taking notes, this would be number 1, the 4 most common stumbling blocks that get in the way of execution on our vision, of allowing our vision to come to life. The first thing that I see here is something I like to call shiny object syndrome. Does anyone know what I mean by that, shiny object syndrome? Dad, I see my dad quietly raise his hand. Yeah. Mike, I saw you raise your hand. What is shiny object syndrome?
So that is every time you see something new, a new way of marketing, a new tool, and a new way to do something, you have to jump right on it because it's the newest and latest, greatest thing, and you just, oh, this one's going to work for sure, and half of them never do.
That's it. It's like a squirrel or a fish who like sees something shiny and they're on their way, they're on their path. They're swimming in the ocean, like squirrels climbing a tree. They see something shiny, then their focus just becomes on the shiny object. Oh, another shiny object. Oh, another shiny object. And they quickly deviate from the path that they are on and they begin to pursue the shiny object. So the first thing here is shiny object syndrome. And what that really means is that throughout the year, as we set our goals, certain problems come up, certain opportunities come up, certain things come up that distract us and take us off the path of getting to our goals. There's another quote I want to share with you by another guy who's kind of considered a modern day Thomas Edison, Steve Jobs. I love this quote because it captures the concept I'm talking about here. He says this: people think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that are there. You have to pick carefully. I'm actually as proud of the things we haven't done as the things I have done. Innovation is saying no to 1,000 things. Just yesterday, I was at a meeting with a client. Really quick story. Just yesterday, I was in a meeting with a client. He's an electrician. And we get on the phone and he gives me an awesome update. He just got 2 guys and 2 trucks. He was a one-man shop. And over the month of December, he got 2 guys and 2 trucks. And those trucks are busy and fully rocking. And so I was celebrating the win with him. And he goes, Robert, I have this opportunity. There's a $3 million electrical project. It's a commercial project. And he's like, it's this great opportunity. I think the profit will be around 30%. It's amazing. I said, okay, that sounds awesome. And ultimately, if that's where you want to go, heck, I work for you. I'm going to follow you there, and I'm going to try to help you the best I can to make that successful. But I said, here's the thing. Even with these two guys, your current phone is ringing off the hook and you can't even keep up with the demand. Furthermore, what's the largest commercial project you've ever managed before? $20,000 commercial project. Okay. So a $3 million commercial project requires a whole new set of skills. Let's focus on the thing that's already working for you real well, the thing that you already are really good at. Let's scale that up to the point that we're satisfied with, and then let's try to take on the new thing and the big thing. The concept is this. The antidote to shiny object syndrome is be fruitful in your core business, then multiply. Be fruitful in the things that you already know. Be fruitful in the things that you're already good at. Be fruitful with the things that you already have fruit in. And once you've reached your goal in that area, once you've reached a satisfactory position, once you have that cash flow, once your profit is at 20%, you've got the amount of trucks that you need or the amount of volume that you need. Once that happens, then we move to the new opportunity or new idea. Even my dad and I, in coaching, we've had so many opportunities come our way to do different things, to do different conferences, to do this or that. But we've had to learn to say no. We're going to focus on our core business, helping small business owners, primarily contractors, scale. And then once our business gets to a point we're satisfied with, then we'll move on. So the first thing is shiny object syndrome. The second thing here, the four most common things that are stumbling blocks that get in the way of our execution. Second thing is we don't break down the big goal into realistic action steps. I really believe, and maybe some of you guys can chime in on your experiences, this is one of the biggest values that our coaching team and that our organization is able to provide for our clients, is we're able to take the big idea and break it down into realistic action steps. So what's the antidote? Well, hey, Robert, I've got this big goal. I want to grow by 50% this year. Awesome. You can do it. I've seen companies grow at a much higher rate than that. You can absolutely grow by 50% this year, but that's not going to happen by accident. So what do we have to do? The antidote is reverse engineering your goal. If you want to grow your business by 50% this year, we need to do a series of breaking that down into those realistic action steps. First thing, we've got to break down the total volume of dollars we want to increase by. Just what's the dollar amount, total revenue, total profit, what's the dollar amount that we're trying to reach? So first we get the dollar amount, bam, maybe that's 250,000, maybe that's $1 million, maybe that's 700,000. We break down the dollar amount first. The second thing here is we break down, okay, with this dollar amount, what kind of team are we going to need to build in order to hit that volume? How many trucks are we going to need? How many new employees? How many crews? What kind of foremen? What kind of office staff are we going to need? If we want to increase by this volume of dollars based upon our past volume with our current team, what kind of new team are we going to need to build to get there? And the third thing is we've got to break down the activity needed to happen to support or create that team. Maybe some of you are saying, like, I want to grow big time this year. And Robert, I know the team. So I know the number, and I know the team I need to build. Okay, well, if you went out and hired your guy, would you be able to keep him busy? No. So what's the first area of focus? It would be marketing. It'd be increasing your lead volume. It'd be getting on and really figuring out how to increase the volume of leads and calls and all these things that you're getting. And listen, if you want to hit the big goal, that's the only place you need to place your focus right now. It's not anything else. It just would be, how do we increase our lead volume? Maybe your call's ringing off the hook. Maybe your phone's ringing off the hook. And you're like, Robert, I could hire people right now. Then the focus would be what? Hiring. All that to say is that if you want to achieve the big goal, break that down into realistic steps, get really specific with it by reverse engineering where you want to go to based upon your current team's performance. The third thing here, most common stumbling blocks that get in the way of execution is we don't track our progress. We're not keeping score. Do we have any sports fans there in here? Bob, I can always count on you for engaging. I appreciate that, buddy. Oh, Toby, Manny. Okay. Dare I go on a limb? Do we have any Packer fans? Green Bay Pack. Bob, are you a Green Bay Packer fan? Oh my gosh! Did we just become best
Grew up in
friends?
Wisconsin.
Oh my word! The last pro football.
Suck up.
Yeah. If he is trying to suck up, it's definitely working because you are definitely now my favorite. And I definitely think, Bob, we got a chance at the Super Bowl this year.
Oh yeah, that's what we say every Sunday when we're out watching them. This is the year.
This is the year, baby. We're ready for it. Aaron's ready. So here's the thing. Packer football would be pretty boring to watch if we weren't keeping score. Right? What would even be the point if we're not keeping score of how we're doing? Imagine if we participated in sports where there was no scoreboard. Like, everyone might get a trophy at the end of the day, but I guarantee you a lot of people are going to leave that stadium quickly because it's like, what are we even doing? We're running on a field playing tag like we're just playing like children. No, we keep score. And so if we know that about something as simple as sports, why aren't we keeping score in our businesses? If we have a goal that we want to get to, why aren't we measuring the progress that we're making towards that goal? So if the stumbling block to execution is not tracking progress, what's the antidote? Create your KPIs that are directly related to your goal and measure them regularly. Does everyone know what KPIs are? We all know. Ray, I see you raise your hand. I'm going to pick on you because you're my client and I'm happy to see you here. Ray is coming at us from northern Alberta, Canada. He's almost in the Yukon territory. He owns Prestige Printing and Sides. Love working with him. Been working with him for nearly a year now. Ray, real quickly, how cold is it right now where you're at?
Well, this morning, my thermometer capped out at minus 40 Celsius.
Oh, no.
Yeah, wind chill, I think, was around minus 50 Celsius.
Yeah, he's talking Celsius, okay? So it's always worse, you know?
Yeah. We're tired. We've had 3 weeks of this now.
Yeah. And you're loving life, aren't you?
I'm not loving the cold anymore.
Okay. So, Ray, what's a KPI? Just in case anyone doesn't know.
Key performance indicator.
Key performance indicator. All a key performance indicator is it's a data point that tells you or indicates what your performance is going to be in your business. And I've got to tell you, if you've never created KPIs before, please work with your coach to create your KPIs, because a big common problem that we run into is a lot of times people can create too many KPIs. You know, we create too many points to measure, and it's almost like an analysis paralysis where we're trying to measure so much, but we're not taking any action. Your KPIs, here's how you know you have the right KPI. You have the right KPI if your key performance indicator allows you to make business decisions based upon the data point. If you're able to see that number and then make a business decision from that, okay, we need to hire, we need to fire, we need to cut costs, we need to raise prices, we need to train our team better, we need to develop a new process. Your key performance indicator should indicate not only your performance, but it should allow you to make business decisions, just like sports. It's fourth quarter, team's down by 10 points, 3 minutes are left in the game. they're going to run a much different strategy. They're going to make different decisions based upon that situation, based upon those numbers. It's the exact same thing for your business. The last thing here that I'm personally passionate about, the last thing, so we've got the 4 most common stumbling blocks, just to review. We've got shiny object syndrome. We get distracted, right? So how do we avoid that? Be fruitful in the core thing that you've committed to do. Be fruitful, the core thing you're good at, then go to the new thing. Second thing is we don't break down the big idea into realistic action steps. Antidote, reverse engineer the goal. If you want to get somewhere, what are all the actionable steps you're going to need to take starting at phase 1 to get there? Third thing, we don't track our progress. How do we avoid that? Create KPIs and we measure them regularly. We're big on that. All your coaches will do that with you already if they're not doing that with you already. All your coaches will do that with you if they're not doing that with you already. The last thing here, guys, and this is something I'm passionate about, and I think it's something that's dismissed by culture, but I really believe in. The last stumbling block that prevents us from executing our goals is that we don't, as entrepreneurs, take care of ourselves, and then we get distracted by our personal lives, or we even burn out as a result. We get lost in the goal. We get, as the rapper Gucci Mane would say, lost in the sauce. We get lost on our way to pursue our goal. And we compromise our health as a result of it. And then we end up burning out. Has anyone experienced burnout? Has anyone ever tapped into that at all? Yeah, Zach. And I'm sorry, P Goals. I see the name P Goals. You've been interacting, but I've been hesitant to call on you because Phil. I'm sorry, Phil. Gotcha. Okay.
Sorry,
So, yeah,
I'm
guys,
still trying to figure this whole thing out. So I'll get there though. I'll get there.
dude, the fact that you figured out how to turn off the mute button means you're light years ahead of
That's
most
a
people.
start.
So thank you. Guys, in my own life, I've experienced burnout. I got really caught up in work, and I was working 60, 70 hours a week. I wasn't eating lunch. I wasn't working out. I wasn't sleeping much. And the result of it is it cost me a lot. It cost me a marriage. It cost me a future. It cost me a family because I didn't prioritize taking care of myself. And here's the thing. Some of you may hear some of this and think it's mumbo jumbo. Oh, that's just, you got to toughen up, whatever. And I'm just encouraging you, if you want to stay in this for the long haul, if you want longevity in your business, which we all do, that's why we're in this thing, you've got to prioritize keeping care of yourself. And what does that mean? That doesn't mean spending the night ordering Domino's pizza, drinking a bottle of wine, and watching Netflix. That's not what taking care of yourself is, okay? That just means very simply that we're getting enough sleep, that we're drinking water throughout the day, that we're eating right, we're spending time with our families, the people that we're doing this for, the people that we're busting our ass for, we're making them a priority in their lives. That's the antidote, is ridiculously taking care of ourselves. It's almost being selfish about taking care of yourself. And I've experienced that being selfish about taking care of yourself is the most unselfish thing that you can do for the world, because it allows you to operate at your best state. It allows you to operate in your highest performance. You don't need to read a science book to know if you get 5 hours of sleep at night compared to 7 hours, you're going to be a grumpy, difficult person to work with who doesn't perform as well. We know this, but why don't we do it? Take care of ourselves. And the last quote I want to give you here, one of my favorite verses in the Bible, Matthew 16:26. For what profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? How does it profit a man if he gets everything but loses his soul? And I would argue that if you gain the entire world and lose your soul, you've probably lost everyone else in the process too, because it's hard to make friends when you're a soulless person, right? And so that's the last thing I want to share. 4 things: shiny object syndrome. We don't break the ideas into realistic steps. We don't track our project, and we don't take care of ourselves. Guys, this really can be the year you always dreamed. That's not just hype. This really can be the best year of your life. 2020 was one of the toughest years of my life. 2021 had difficulties. It had major challenges I had to walk through, but it was the best year of my life because I decided it was going to be the best year of my life. And what do you do after you decide that? You make sure you stay focused, you're fruitful, then multiply. Make sure you break down that big goal in actionable steps, create your key KPIs that are directly related to your goal and measure them regularly. Then make sure you're taking care of yourselves. We're in this for the long game. So anyway, Dad, is Tim still on? Okay, I guess he
is.
Yes, I am. Very
okay.
good.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done it better than myself.
Oh, wow. Dad, finally.
High compliment.
5 years in this business, and finally I win his approval.
So I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'll see you guys in 4 months.
Okay. That's great. So does anyone have any questions, anything to add, comment on before I want to give Nicole's going to talk about a real practical marketing tool, the Dream 100. Before she does that, does anyone want to chime in? Anything? No pressure, but anyone want to chime in? Any questions, anything to add?
Hey, Robert, I was just thinking about the quote you said about vision without execution is hallucination. And I was looking at the board behind Bob and thinking about how important it is to keep score. And I think what a great example of how to keep score and of what's important and make sure we're focused on the blocking and tackling to get us across the goal line. So I just thought that background tied it all together.
You got fans, Bob. You got fans.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Yes.
He's the one who pushed me to put that board up. So Ryan and I have been pushing that for months now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Anyone else? Anything else to add? Any insights? Anything before we move on to Nicole? Going once, going twice. Sold. Nicole, talk to us about the Dream 100.
Yes. So before I get going there, Sarah, I saw that you have your dog with you. I think I saw your dog on camera, and I'm going to get Robert in a little bit of trouble here. But yesterday, Robert let us bring our dogs up to the office.
He told me about it, Nicole.
Okay.
You guys have always thought that I do things behind. I never do something without keeping Tim in the loop. He always knows.
When the cat's away, the mice will play.
No, I'm a cat too, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, I wanted to talk here today about the Dream 100 because I knew that Robert was going to be talking about the quote of vision without execution is hallucination. And in every single system that we teach in Redmond Growth with simply owning a business, that quote is instrumental and it's very evident. But the Dream 100 to me tends to be the system that most embodies that quote. Because without taking action, without tracking, without being committed to that system, it will end up being a giant waste of time and it won't yield you the results that you're looking for. So the Dream 100 is a form of marketing that we teach here at Redmond Growth. And the beauty of it is that it works 100% of the time. I know that might sound crazy, a marketing system that works 100% of the time. A lot of times clients come to us and they have tried everything. They've tried a ton of third-party listing sites and they hated it. They don't want to invest money into ads. Maybe they've had bad experiences in the past. The beauty of the Dream 100 is that it is free. It's the most effective and best way to get leads and referrals, but it's completely dependent on the commitment of the person who's going to be executing that Dream 100. And so really that quote of vision without execution is hallucination is so prevalent in the success or the demise of the Dream 100 for your company. What the Dream 100 is it's this concept that was invented by Chet Holmes. He's the author of The Ultimate Sales Machine. I think Bryce is pulling up the photo of the book. It's a great book for those of you who like to read. You can get it on audiobook. Highly recommend. So Chet developed the concept of the Dream 100 around the idea that if you got 100 clients and you got all of them, you would dramatically increase the growth of your business and establish an extremely reliable lead and revenue stream for your company. So Chet Holmes was selling magazines ads, and they were going after 2,200 leads. They were targeting 2,200 prospects they were reaching out to consistently. After doing a little bit of research, he discovered that only 67 of those 2,200 were actually making up 95% of those who were actually buying ads. And so what they decided to do is, instead of targeting all this effort on 2,200 people and trying to get 2,200 new clients, they focused all of their effort on the 167 that were going to be the most likely to actually buy the product that they were selling. And so by really focusing their effort on their most ideal likely buyers, within 6 months of focusing their effort on those 167, they had 29 of them buying ads from his company. So this whole concept of sometimes trying to go after everybody, saying, a lot of times I hear clients when they first come on board, when I ask them who their most ideal likely buyer is, they'll say, oh, everybody wants what I have. Like, everybody wants to buy my product.
Everyone has a bathtub.
Yeah, everybody has a bathtub. Everybody needs it resurfaced. And so, but that's not the case. You have to find your ideal likely buyers. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting a ton of money and time and effort on people that are never ultimately going to buy what you're selling. So with the Dream 100, we want to really focus on the very thing that you want for your business and what your business really needs at that point. So the Dream 100 functions in a few different ways. The first is that it can help you by getting referrals, other businesses referring you business. As you guys already know, I work with a realtor. Her name's Sarah Naylor. For a lot of my construction guys, a lot of my service companies, a great person, a great industry for them to base their Dream 100 around is people like real estate agents, insurance companies, even other service industries, service companies that are in different industries with them. And by becoming their provider, the person that they recommend to their clients. I know that when I bought my house, actually Tim Redmond's beautiful wife, Sandy, was my real estate agent, but she gave me a whole list of all of these contractors that she recommended to me for my house. And as a new homeowner, that was huge for me. And anytime I need a service, that's where I pull that list from. And so that's the first thing the Dream 100 can do for you, is it can get you referrals. The second way the Dream 100 works is by building relationships to be the exclusive vendor or subcontractor. So kind of keeping with the service companies, that example, this would be property management groups, general contractors, home builders. This can lead to massive amounts of work. I mean, just think about it. If you created a list of 100 property management groups in your area and 20 of them, just 20 of them decided to consistently use you, that could double or triple your revenue essentially overnight. So that's the second way that you can really get leads and get revenue from the Dream 100. It's by building the relationships and becoming an exclusive vendor or subcontractor. The third way that you can really utilize the Dream 100 is by developing partnerships that are mutually beneficial. One example that comes to mind is we work with quite a few low voltage electricians. Your average consumer which would be me, who I think owns a hammer and knows nothing about electrical work or anything of that. Your average consumer is going to go to Google and they're going to type in something like electrician because they think that an electrician does everything that a low voltage electrician does. But that is not the case. So the Dream 100, let's say you're a low voltage electrician. If you created a list of 100 different electricians in your area and started pursuing them for these beneficial partnerships, if you got 10 of them who started, exclusively using you or being able to say on their large projects, yes, we have a low voltage electrician on hand, not only will that boost the amount of leads that you are receiving and the amount of jobs that you are able to go on, but it's also going to help them. That's a huge benefit to their company as well. And so the Dream 100 can build those relationships and can build those partnerships. So those are the 3 ways that the Dream 100 can work. Now, the Dream 100 is not for the faint of heart. Thankfully, I'm talking to a room of entrepreneurs, so I already know that you guys are glutton for pain, glutton for punishment. And so I know that you can handle. I know that you guys can handle the Dream 100. Bryce, if you'll pull that quote back up, this quote is from Chet Holmes himself from the book, The Ultimate Sales Machine. And it says, we've had conversations with CEOs where on the call, they turned me down 11 times and I still got the appointment. That's typical, by the way. That's average. If you haven't figured that out in advance, you will never be the ultimate sales machine. Most of the time with the Dream 100, it's not going to take reaching out to them once. It's not going to be sending out a mass email. It's not going to be, Nicole, I created a list of 20 people and I called all 20 and not one of them, was interested. If that is the attitude that we go into the Dream 100 with, it is always going to fail. If you'll pull up that next picture, Bryce, this really embodies to me the effort that needs to be put into the Dream 100. Mastery is not about being special or more gifted than anyone else. Mastery is a direct result of pig-headed discipline and determination. That is the attitude that we have to embody and we have to have when we decide to pursue the Dream 100. Most people won't want to be diligent with the system by calling 100 businesses or even creating a list of 100 businesses that they want to do work with or become the preferred vendor of. You have to commit and trust the system and have faith that is going to work for you, and never let your ego or emotions get involved, as it can take those 99 no's to get that one yes. But the Dream 100 is filled with businesses that even just one of them, if one of them decided they wanted to use us, if one of them decided that they wanted to partner with us, if one of them made us their exclusive vendor, it's going to dramatically increase the amount of revenue and leads that come into my company. And it's going to become the most lucrative form of marketing for my business. And so kind of circling back to the vision without execution, all the time, and I'm sure the other coaches here can say the same, we get asked, Nicole, what's the number one thing that I could do for my marketing? Or, hey, we've tried this third-party listing sites, we're running ads, we've got a good Google My Business, our website's ranking, we seem to have all these good things going. What's the next step? What's the next thing that I could do to really get revenue coming in, to get referrals, to really increase that revenue and hit my goals? The Dream 100 is the solution. And so if you have started the Dream 100 and taken a break from it, if it's gotten the best of you, I encourage you to take this as the little boost of encouragement that you need to in your next coaching meeting to say, hey, hold me accountable to this. What am I doing wrong? What could I be doing better? If you haven't started doing the Dream 100, if this is a whole new concept to you, if you haven't heard of it, there's probably a reason your coach hasn't told you about it yet. And so I would use this as an opportunity to ask them, hey, what would the Dream 100 look for my business? And am I at a point in my business that this would be a really beneficial thing for me to start doing? And so ask your coach, get curious about it, because this is one of the steadiest, most reliable and lucrative forms of marketing that you can do for your company. And it's going to be one of the most reliable legs of your marketing stool. So what I would love to do is I'd love to kind of open up the floor to any questions that anybody might have. If you're willing to speak up, speak up. If you want to type them in the chat, we've got, you know, a chat going on and we can answer questions that way. Any questions or comments about the Dream 100, even if you have a testimonial. I think, Bob, that you've actually done the Dream 100 and had some success with it. And so if anybody has any comments, questions, or
Nicole, I would really like to hear from Ray and Bob and Ryan. I know they've both of those companies have actually used the Dream 100. So I'd love to hear how they've done it in real life and what's gone on and what kind of results have they got from it. And anybody else that's actually used and applied the Dream 100, what's happened and how tough was it? How rewarding was it? Bob, Ryan, Ray.
Well, Ryan could probably talk about, he's probably the best person to talk about how many times you got to go see. For us, a Dream 100 was largely property management companies or apartment complexes. And Ryan would be a great guy to talk about how many times he's had to go to manager again and again and again. And then you just hit him on that right day. They 5, 6, 7 times they kick you out of our office. Don't ever come back. Then he shows up one day and, oh, I've been looking for your card. We wanted to call you.
Yeah.
Ryan could probably tell you a lot more about that. He's experienced it firsthand.
We've got some, we've both probably got some pretty good stories on this. It's all about just repetitive. It's the die, buy, buy, die, or cry, however you guys worded it in the past. You've got to keep doing it until, even when they tell you no, it's, oh, see you tomorrow then.
Yeah.
I mean, like he said, I've been to the same place 10 times. The last time I was there, basically got cussed and asked to leave. 2 days later, I show back up and they're like, man, where have you been? We've been looking for your card. We need your services. And that's just the way it goes. You just got to keep going. And if you're in sales and the word no slows you down, you're in the wrong business. You've got no has got to drive
Ryan.
you home.
Amen. We're gonna write that on the wall somewhere in here. That's huge.
No has to drive you. I mean, you got to love hearing the word no.
Well, and I totally agree with everything Ryan just said. What I have found with the clients that actually execute the Dream 100, I used to get skeptical of this. I'll be transparent with you guys. I used to get skeptical of this because like no one would do it. Like they would say they would do it, and they would create all these plans to talk about it, but no one would execute it. And we try to get people to execute it because it really does work. And I think you got to have thick skin and be able to handle no's, like Ryan's talking about. But something that Chet Holmes even talks about in this book, and I know that Ray experienced this, is just by reaching out to people. You're going to get people who are looking for you. Mm-hmm. I know in the book, I think Chet gives a statistic like 3 to 5% of people are looking right now for a new vendor of the service that you offer in terms of your ideal likely buyers, 3 to 5% of that. Some of the cool things is if you're needing a quick result, like I remember, I'll let Ray speak more about it, but we just did like the first round of the Dream 100. We sent out an email, and just initial email, we weren't really expecting much. Ray, what kind of results did we get after that first email? I don't want to misspeak here.
Yeah, so we did get some response initially from some clients that we hadn't heard from for a number of years. I don't know exactly the numbers, but it was, it was a total surprise to me.
You got a few big orders though, didn't you?
We got a few orders through that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a few inquiries. Some didn't pan out, but definitely a start.
And guess what? We just sent out an email. That was all we did. We just sent out, the first stage was an email. And so how
much was generated on that, Robert? With that email, how much was generated?
Well, why don't we ask Ray? I thought Ray, it was somewhere around 5 or 6 grand that you're able to generate in sales.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. I know there was some bigger inquiries that didn't pan out, unfortunately, but it was a good start, and they've been back for some other stuff in the meantime. So
yeah. And so one of the cool.
Go ahead, Robert.
I was just going to say, one of the cool things about the Dream 100 is there's a number of different ways to approach it. And so, you know, you can approach it for referrals, like Bob and Ryan are talking about, working with property management companies. With what we did with Ray is Ray owns a printing, like a screen printing company. They do all sorts of printing, but they do tinting and signs and embroidery and all that, promotional products. And we just went out, we went after past clients we hadn't heard from a while. That's all we did. And just the first week, one of the cool things is by running the Dream 100, the first time you execute it, like you're gonna get results. Why? Because you're reaching out to people. It's like, that's what marketing is. It's getting people's attention. That's all any type of marketing is. Facebook advertising, SEO, all of that. You're just getting in front of someone's eyes. You're getting their attention. So the great thing about the Dream 100 is you get people's attention. You go right in front of them. The last thing I want to talk about real quick that Bob and Ryan hit on, and Chet talks about this too in this book. In the Dream 100, there is an emotional progression with the people you're reaching out to. Mm-hmm. You reach out to someone for the first time and you've never reached out to them before and they don't know who you are or where you're from. Like any human, they're going to be confused. They might be a little rude. I'm busy here. What is this about? Whatever. Second time, you reach out to them again. They might be annoyed. Oh my gosh, how dare I annoy somebody? No, they might be a little bit annoyed. Here's what I'll say though. Their annoyance, don't take that too seriously because they just don't know how good you are yet. And you know how good you are. So you can look past their annoyance and say, you know what? I know you're annoyed, but you're only annoyed because you don't. So that's the second week. Do it with enough consistency. You're going to have results like these guys. They're going to begin to respect you. Like they're going to begin to become interested. And then you capture something, which is the most valuable thing in our marketing, that any marketing campaign we try to capture, you capture their top of mind awareness. How do you do that? You just have been consistent reaching out to them. That's all it is. You're just consistent. You're making a call. You're visiting them in the office. You're dropping off donuts. You're writing them a handwritten thank you note or handwritten note. You're writing them an email. You're just consistently getting in front of their attention. And the result is whenever they think about your service, because you've been consistent, whenever they think about or they have the need for your service, you're going to have that top of mind awareness. You're going to be the first thing they think about.
And that's the beauty of the Dream 100 is we're not trying to be high pressure car salesmen. And that tends to be one of the excuses that I get of, oh, I don't want to badger people. I don't want to piss somebody off. I hate when people, are calling me constantly or knocking on my door, whatever. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to make friends. We're trying to put our foot in the door. We're trying to get that top of mind awareness. So the next time that something does come up, because it will, you're going to be who they think about because you're the annoying guy who keeps coming by their office with your business cards or your one sheets and a box of donuts. And so they're going to be way more likely to give you that call because they know that you have been persistent. You've earned their respect in a way. Even if they come across like they're a little bit annoyed by you, they're going to respect the commitment. They're going to respect the consistency, the dedication, and you're going to win the account because of it. And so that's one thing that I want to overemphasize. It's not that we're trying to pressure anybody. It's not like we're trying to be that really annoying car salesman, vulture type of salesperson. We're just trying to build relationships. And the less that you make it feel about sales, about making the sale, and the more you make it feel about making that connection and really making it that I want to serve you, I want to earn your business, that is when you are going to win that account.
That's great.
And so just really highly encourage, if you've kind of given up on the Dream 100 or it's been a little bit, talk to your coach, get back into a good flow. Let us hold you accountable to it. If this is something that you haven't implemented in your company, but if you're curious about it, stick underneath the burning fires. So the next time you're in your meeting, talk with your coach about it, get a game plan together, because it is the cheapest and most effective way to really grow your company significantly. Any questions? Anybody can type into the chat or just speak up. Just any questions about the Dream 100 or Robert's blonde hair or anything?
I do want to say, Jason, it looked like you have a mini MMA fighter in your presence. Did I see that correctly? Did I see someone with boxing gloves there, Jason?
Yeah, he's actually the person giving me my first black eye. So
wow. Sounds like a great family in the making.
Gonna be tough.
Oh yeah.
Okay, any questions about the Dream 100? Anything at all? Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a simple system. You get an Excel sheet. You put a list of clients that you want to get. You put their contact info. Then you just come up with a plan. So people are more responsive to different communication. One week we're going to email them. The next week we're going to call them. The next week we're going to give them a gift. Chet Holmes gives a couple of number of ideas to communicate. Execute it for 6 weeks. See what happens. The only thing it costs you is your time and consistency. It doesn't cost you ad spend. It may cost you a little bit to put like marketing materials together or to get like boxes of donuts. Yeah, but it's free. It only requires time and consistency. And it's really, I mean, it's kind of how we, in the beginning, built Redmond Growth. Before we started advertising online, we literally would just call people. And that's how we got our first 100 clients. Literally, we just called people. And so it doesn't cost any money. It costs time and consistency, and is an incredibly powerful growth tool if you execute it. So anyway, Dad, do we want to move to a more general question time, business question, coaching questions?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions that they've either presented beforehand or they have a question right now to ask, just to speak up now.
Okay. Well, if no one has any questions, I've got a question for you guys. And we'll kind of end this on a fun note. I want to know, maybe from 3, 4, 5 people, whatever, what are some New Year's resolutions that you guys have that aren't related to business at all? I want to get to know our clients personally. Does anyone have New Year's resolutions, any personal big goals that they have for the year that aren't, maybe it could be related to business, but aren't necessarily related to business? It could be vacations. It could be fitness. It could be books to read. Any New Year's resolutions, guys?
I'm shooting for 2 books a month. This past year I ended with 17, and so this year I'm trying to hit 24.
Okay, 2 books a month. That's pretty impressive, honestly. Nicole's quite the reader. Andrew said, move into new house. Where's Andrew? Oh, he's off. I think he's on a phone call or something. Okay.
Yes, if that is Andrew with United. Yeah, Andrew with United Public Construction. They just bought some land, and you guys are going to either remodel the house on it or you're building a house, correct?
We're right in the middle of getting it out and remodeling it. All the drywall been ripped out, and it's like going back in. My wife's on my ass about getting it done. Can't move fast enough for her, so just Bob and I to move out there, and we're going to be moving out there to work on the house.
That's
so
awesome.
Exciting.
That's the dream right there.
Yes.
Getting the homestead. That's awesome. Anyone else? New Year's resolutions? Any plans for the year at all? Is anyone planning?
Check out Jason's what he's got in the chat.
I'm not seeing it. It may have been directly to you, Dad. Jason, you got something? You're muted.
Am I unmuted?
Is this okay, Jason, for me to mention? I didn't realize it was directly to me.
Oh, I didn't know one for you.
He's like, Jason's been talking to me all meeting. Jason, tell everyone.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'm new with the technology. So, but he wants to buy a Dodge Dart.
Viper.
No. It's a Dodge Viper.
Let's go. Do we have any other car guys in the house? Any other car guys? I love cars. Any other car guys? No other car guys. Jason, I got to drive a friend's Dodge Viper. That is a goal worth pursuing, my friend.
Yeah.
That is a fun car. It will slide like crazy, but it's a ball of fun. Oh, Andrew, 1967 Lehman's F100? I don't even know what that is. Anyway, well, I think we're good to wrap up here today. Anything else, Dad, that we need to cover?
Good.
Okay. So
Well,
here's what
Robert, that's a 1967 Pontiac Le Mans and a 1969 F100 Ranger Ford pickup. Antique hot rods.
I love classic trucks. That is really cool. And so anyway, I appreciate you guys sharing, appreciate you guys being here. We're on next Thursday for another group event. We'll send more information, I believe, next Thursday at 9 Central, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Next
So
Thursday.
the first and third Thursday is going to be at 4 o'clock Central. The second and fourth Thursday is going to be at 9 a.m. Central. And what's most important here is you guys get the Redmond Growth calendar imported into your calendar so you can see what's going on.
Yes, if you haven't gotten that from your coach, text or email them. We're putting them on everybody's agendas as well. So we want to make that really easy, something that you don't have to think about. It's already in your calendar. And so just if you haven't gotten that link, if you don't know what we're talking about in regards to a calendar, please reach out to one of us so that we can get you set up.
All right. Well, as you guys know, in every single Redmond Growth meeting here internally, we like to end it with a growth on 3. And the person in our team who leads that count is none other than Jonathan Rude. Jonathan, can you hop on the mic here and break us down? He's going to count on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're all going to try to say growth to end the meeting. Jonathan, can you count us out?
I can do that. I just I got to see some unmuted mics here because I'm not going to shout growth alone.
Oh, let's do that. Everyone unmute their mics. Come on. We're doing this. Yep. We're the company that makes you do stuff like this. Yep.
All right. Yeah. It's going to be growth on 3. 1, 2, 3. Growth.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.